Hey, welcome back to Silicone's Garage. Got another project here today. We are replacing brake pads on all four wheels on this Acura RDX here. I am going to bleed the brakes today. It's not necessarily that you bleed the brakes after you replace the pad. The reason for me replacing bleeding the brakes is because the reservoir, as you can see behind me here, the brake fluid is black. So this is the only reason why I'm doing it. So let's go ahead and get into it and I'll show you what I do. All right, so we're gonna be taking these bolts in the back off. I think there's one on the bottom. Yeah, it's one on top, one on the bottom, right down here. They are 14 millimeters. Taking those off. Taking the guide pins out also, because you're supposed to do that. Clean that off, lubricate it. These anti-rattle rattle clips, or you guys can call them brake shims or whatever. Replacing those as well too. 14 millimeter. Okay, so what I like to do is go ahead and lift the calipers up. If you have a hook of some sort, hook it and just hook it to something where you can work on the piston. So you want to go ahead and squeeze the pistons down. So I have one of these tools right here. This is some piston compression tool. So this is what I'm gonna do. Just put it right in between there. Let's go ahead and remove these guide pins. Alright, if you're unsure of what guide pin goes where, you can go ahead and just clean it off. And once you clean it off, you can go ahead and lubricate it and just put it back in the same spot. That way you don't get it confused from which one came from the top and which one came from the bottom. I got some silicone paste here. Put it right back in. And just repeat the same process for the bottom. And these anti-rattle clips, go ahead and pop these out. You can call them shims if you want. Got the new ones that came with the box. Okay, so what I like to do here is install the front pads first, because these anti-rattle clips, shims, whatever, they don't tend to sit well or fit well in it. But what we do here is just go ahead and install it to keep it in its place, because the back part of the pads, they're the hardest to put in. Okay, so as for the back plating, I went ahead and lubricated the back with some silicone paste, and go ahead and put this back plating back on. Now I had trouble earlier on the other side installing this because of these shims here. Okay, all right, awesome. Okay, now we can go ahead and put our calipers back on. All right, so these guide pins right here, they are a 19mm. You'll probably get a wrench just to hold it. And I'm gonna torque it to 50 foot-pounds. All right, guys, so front is done. Let's go to the rear. Same deal here with the rear, except these bolts back here. There's two of them, one there, and one right here. These are 12mm. So this one is a little bit different because the brake pad has some kind of, it's got, the way it's built, it goes inside the piston. And I'll show you guys in a little bit. You can go ahead and just take both these bolts out and just hang it on top of the trail arm. Okay, so we'll be replacing all these clips here, here, and here inside. So, okay, so in order to get this out, you have to go ahead and compress this pad along with the piston all the way down. That compression tool that I have will not work, or actually it will work, but it won't fit because it doesn't compress down far enough. So get yourself some Channellocks like this. Go ahead, grab Channellocks and just squeeze it down. All right, you see that? That right there, these 3 prongs built on this brake pad, it goes right inside the piston, right in there. It's the reason why you can't pull it out. You gotta compress it first. Well, at least that's how I see it. Go ahead and install this pad, the one in the front first. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and take out these guide pins. Now, these guide pins, they are 17. And these bolts, they get torqued to 30 foot-pounds. All right, guys, so what I got here is a piece of tubing here from Lowe's Home Depot. You can get anywhere, Lowe's Home Depot. They're like $5, something like that. Anywhere from $5 to like $8. This here is a, it's got a ID of 3/16 inside diameter and the outside diameter of 5/16. Also, you will need like a bottle. This is like an empty bottle. I got a Joda top. Make sure your line is long enough to go to the bottom, and what you want to do is go ahead and fill it maybe not halfway, but like probably halfway up, you know, probably less than that, depending on where your line is. You want to submerge it in brake fluid. The reason for that is when you're bleeding your brakes, you open the valve and you're pumping it, you don't want air going back into the system, so all the air will be pushed out into the fluid and nothing will come back up. Now, what you're supposed to do here, you're supposed to take something that's tucked like half of this fluid out first, like a turkey baster of some sort. Since I don't have one, I'm just gonna, you know, top it off with brake fluid, and just pump it out until it gets to like probably right here near the maximum, and I'll fill the fluid back up until it runs clear out there on the lines. And so just never let this run dry, that's all I can say. What I like to do is go ahead and start it from the furthest one back, which is the rear. This is the rear passenger, right side. And it would go a lot quicker with two people, but since you're doing it by yourself, this is the method for, you know, doing it solo. As you can see, this line is super clear all the way in. And we are done. I've made my round trip. Yeah, let's take a look at the reservoir. And you can see how cleaner that looks now. It's not dark. Hey, so I want to briefly explain this real quick about bleeding your brakes. You always want to start the farthest away from the master cylinder. You want to start always at the rear, which is the passenger rear, followed by the driver side rear, and then coming back to the passenger front, and then you'll finish off lastly the driver side front. All right, guys, our job is done. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.